It is Monday, August the 18th. This is The Warning. President Zelensky of Ukraine is in Washington, D.C., as are the leaders of the European democracies. They're there because they are fearful of the great appeasement in Anchorage. Historically, it will be recalled astonishingly by a future generation as the equivalent of Munich. And with awe, they will wonder, how was it possible that within the span of the living lifetime of the men who stormed the beaches and the survivors of the death camps, that an American president would embrace the philosophy of Charles Lindbergh and the American Bund and the fascists and deploy the American military against the people, that he would betray freedom around the world, that he would commit acts of arson against the Constitution of the United States. And in the end, he would take the American flag, synonymous with freedom all over the world, and defile it by placing it next to the Russian dictator who launched an illegal war of aggression that has killed and wounded 1 million of his own soldiers and killed tens of thousands of Ukrainians, and has seen the kidnapping and shipping east of thousands of Ukrainian children kidnapped, stolen from their parents. This man was greeted with honor and dignity on American soil. It was an astonishing propaganda victory for the Russian tyrant. Pursuing peace, nothing could be further from the truth. The thing about propaganda, seeing it, witnessing it, watching it assault the consciousness, the sentience, the ability of people to critically think, is appalling, it is frightening, and it is real, and it is happening. Pursuing peace. The reality show that Donald Trump is producing is fascist in character, right down to the masked men, right down to the sycophants and buffoons who surround him. And this reality show, the images that it produces, are meant to show American strength. But sometimes reality intrudes. Here is a Russian vehicle manufactured in the United States, captured on the battlefield, flying the Russian tricolor and the American flag. Together, images that show two flags of what? Brutality and oppression and rape and murder. One thing is true, that was not until very recently. Both countries have masked agents that snatch people off the streets. This is an astonishing scene, watching these federal agents to tell a man on his porch that Trump doesn't like drinking or smoking, so to watch himself.
How y'all doing today? Y'all staying in that trouble? You got your ID on you, chick?
Well, no, I live right here.
Okay, cool.
It's a cigarette. Did y'all get a call or something about right here?
No, so we're doing checks, keeping everybody safe down here, right? Have you heard of the federal surge that Donald Trump's putting out?
No.
Right. You don't follow like
No.
Code 3, anything like that people are putting up? All right, so yeah, Trump's got all federal agencies kind of coming together 7 days and going out, trying to stop the violent crime, all kind of stuff. So we're out here contacting people, talking to them, right? Quality of life offenses, smoking, drinking in public, right? Can't happen outside.
The officiousness and the heavy hand is nothing compared to the jackboot that's coming down. Because what Donald Trump is preparing in the interior of the United States is to allow MAGA states to volunteer their National Guards for federal service in the U.S. Army to be deployed to Democratic-led states and cities, functionally as an occupying force. Abroad, the United States is turning its back on its historic commitment to human rights, the concept of human dignity, the idea that each of us is sacred, each human being made in the image of God. We are abandoning our most noble principles. And while that is happening, Washington is awash in a rising tide of corruption, unprecedented in the history of the country. Donald Trump is assembling a police state and an ICE army and prisons all over the country where human beings are being abused and denied their basic rights in perhaps the most un-American abuse of power since the internment of Japanese Americans in the Second World War. What we're seeing being done to Hispanic citizens, the fear that is being stoked by masked agents who indiscriminately can show up at a school, at a work site, at a car wash with weapons ready. They fired into a car this weekend, is terrifying people. And that's the point. Fear is a most powerful weapon. And Donald Trump is trying to say something that he admires, something that he's learned from Vladimir Putin, which is that people can do whatever they want so long as they stay in line and let Donald take whatever he wants, have whatever he wants, and do whatever he wants to whomever he wants, because Donald is the law, and what Donald says goes. This is a man filled with malice who's been threatening the country for 10 long years. Masked agents in American cities, the army establishing checkpoints on America's streets, deployed against the people and the government, of the people, by the people, for the people, that they swore an oath to preserve. What we're seeing is sectionalism, the abuse of one part of the country by a political faction under a leader who says, let's get rid of the checks and balances. Let's get rid of the sharing of power and trade it in for one-man rule. Does nobody see that this man is naked before us with his swollen ankles, incoherent, his best friend, the most notorious pedophile of the 21st century, the files that he is covering up? This loathsome criminal is the President of the United States. And what he has done this August and what he will do on this day, the 18th of August, is lay the foundation for suffering in the world that is beyond imagination for most Americans. What he will do this day is dishonor the United States. And what he will do this day is lay a foundation for a terrible war to come, an unnecessary war, Trump's war. While this bombastic buffoon publicly campaigns for a Nobel Peace Prize, this man, a wannabe tyrant, a dime store Mussolini, is going to look the democratically elected leader of a nation dead in the eye and tell him the United States stands with the Russian invader. It is a tragedy. It is a day of shame, or another day in MAGA America. But what will happen today will reverberate for a very, very long time to come. This is The Warning. I'm Steve Schmidt. This is The Warning. I invite you to join this community where I promise to be honest, blunt, and direct about what is happening in this country. America is in crisis. Follow and subscribe to this channel and on Substack. Thank you.